پگی یا پشیده هیا پرورده ایدئولوژی راستی ما نوام راستی خواه و دزانی ام راستی اشی اسکر کیا پگمه از بده پرورده بینم یعنی تشت زیادتر از بجم نی نو کاری ما همیشه که بدم بده پرورده بینم ایدئولوژی اسکری پرورده خوش در باز به حوالتی که خورد نیو حواله یا پگی یا پشیده هیا پرورده ایدئولوژی راستی ما نو هم راستی خواه و دزانی ام راستی خواه پرداد بی نو مثلا چه کتی سواره و ریده چه دمشه ام وید بینی گره و راستی ام جی و ریده روچ
mutlaka her iki kişi kadro. Her iki kişideki bir tamam.
هبال ام وکه جنکی کو ام پاراسنا خو بکن امد علی فکری ده خو پیش بخن و پیشرد علی تنظیمی ده جوات ده ودنها مثلا سلاح تشتكي مهمة أما سلاح جواتي ده مثلا مالادة حارة من كارن بيك بينن أم باراسنا سلاح مثلا سلاح مجيه جنية إرادة جنية جواتي ده شوا إرادة خو تمثيل بكي شوا مجيه خو راس بشغليني وشوا يدور خو تنظيم بكي نها مثلا أم بوكي وكون بكن أف بروردا مديتي داليه باراسنا روادا وداليه هر تشتيدا أم واجنا دورا خو بروردا بكن وتنظيم بكن وجبر أم ببنا جواتك رحت وكا شنغالي المنوي هذا دفهم حاضر بن جهر تشتيرا إيرو شورش مثلا
Welcome to the Michael Brooks Show, where left is best, as it is everywhere else, with super producer Matt Leck.
Hello.
Chief economist David Griscom.
How's it going?
Super producer David Slavic, roaming the digitosphere in the ever-expanding, ever-aggressive TMBS universe. This is the 70th show. We have been on an amazing journey as we continue to grow and power away, and for this year in review of dumb, Big Woz, Wosny Lambre, my fellow woke bro, subscribe to it on Count the Dings on the Bomb feed. He's here in studio. We're going to talk about his love of Kanye, his even deeper love of Drake, his conversion to black republicanism, and a new project he's launching with Candace Owens. And why Derrick Fisher's business idea for loans to NBA players is actually sound. All that. Yeah, you can tell what kind of show it's going to be. No, but we got to get to year in review, politics, sports, music with the great Wosny Lambre. If you are tuning into the show for the first time from the Count the Dings Network, welcome. First, we're gonna break format because we're gonna have Woz come on here in a couple of minutes. But first, we have to talk about what's going on in Rojava. You just heard, if you were streaming a little bit before the conversation with Jean Bajlan, on the implications of a Trump full withdrawal from Syria on the revolutionary Kurdish community in Rojava. But let's talk a little bit more about the context of this withdrawal. Unless you're naive, you know that the Trump administration's promise to pull down military presence across the globe, to be an isolationist administration, is a lie. There's more drone strikes under Trump than there were under Obama. Civilian casualties across the globe are escalating, and there is no sign of drawing down our occupying force in Afghanistan, and we have aggressively expanded in sections of Africa and continue a presence in Pakistan, and of course are actively engaged in relentless mass murder in Yemen with the Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. That's the reality. That's the context. Donald Trump has agreed to an over $3 billion arms deal with Turkey in the context of this withdrawal. Think about what this means and what this looks like. Erdogan and the Turkish government have been bleeding out MBS and the Saudis because of the murder of Jamal Khashoggi, who was, of course, abducted and dismembered, tortured, as far as we understand, at the Saudi embassy in Istanbul. The Turks have been undermining the Saudis and using this to their strategic advantage ever since. Trump, who has a tight relationship with the Saudis and other Gulf states, has run interference for this murderous prince and wants to continue an uninterrupted flow of oil, arms, and investments. Turkey found a sideway here, as far as I read it, to get what it wants out of Trump for what I'm sure is going to be an easing off of MBS in Saudi Arabia. And that's a massive arms deal, $3.5 billion in missile sales, including 18 Patriot missiles, 60 PAC-3 missile interceptors. Russia as well has sold significant new weapons to Turkey, and a withdrawal from Syria. Now, overall, the U.S. role in Syria, of course, like every other imperial player, Russia being the other prime example, the role of the United States in Syria is negative. It's killed a lot of civilians. It has not averted a disastrous multi-party proxy and civil war. Of course, Assad has a huge body count. ISIS has a huge body count. There is a lot of catastrophe and blood to go around. And in many respects, the U.S. pulling back without a lie, without a conspiracy theory to justify Russian murders and Assad's behavior is absolutely appropriate. There is one area here where the current configuration is such that the U.S. presence and coordination is allowing the space for an incredible revolutionary breakthrough of the Kurdish party in Rojava. They are implementing ecological policies, direct democracy, and all sorts of other areas, not only of progressive politics, but even radical politics. And it's because of an opportunistic deal with the United States. The Kurds have also been incredible fighters with ISIS. Starting in 2013, Kurdish fighters began attacking ISIS-held territory. They defeated ISIS in Ras Alan near the Turkish border in 2013. In 2014, ISIS led counterstrikes and surrounded the Kurdish-held city of Kobani. ISIS launched an offensive attack using tanks, rockets, artillery, and took strategic villages in and around Kobani. After taking heavy losses and hard fighting within the city, the Kurdish forces were reinforced and eventually retook control of Kobani in January 2015, and the world rejoiced. Victory over ISIS in the siege of Kobani was a significant turning point in the fight against ISIS. Now, there's 2,000 U.S. troops in Rojava. The White House said the pullout has already begun, although the U.S. official told Reuters reported that the pullout could take up to 100 days. Here's what we need to do if our position is genuinely global, genuinely left, and not just one-dimensional anti-American. Most forces should be pulled out of Syria. Funding for Gulf-aligned groups should be cut. But weapons, artillery, logistics support, and some U.S. presence, we should support, staying specifically in Rojava. The Turks are promising a massive campaign there. We saw this happen in Afrin last year. The Russians pulled out. They portrayed their Kurdish allies, just like we're about to. And the Turks went in and engaged in a mass campaign of ethnic cleansing and murder. Erdogan has said, we will start operations to clear the east of the Euphrates from separatist terrorists in a few days. Now it's time to realize our decision to disperse the circles of terror east of the Euphrates, and the fact that we have deep differences in perception with the United States is no secret. That was before the announcement of this withdrawal, obviously. So Turkish imperialism, Turkish ethnic cleansing is not an answer to the U.S. destructive role. And we need to take a strategic approach, support where any opportunity for liberatory, emancipatory politics exists, and there is such a faction there in Kurdistan today. And if this experiment is immediately crushed, no good will come of it. And so we need to figure out a way of critical support and engagement, and not just complete betrayal, while we continue the broader work of winding down an imperial world writ large. Now, that was a really good commentary. And now we're about to have a really good guest Should we play music or should Waz just get up here? I'm going to play a little bit of music, get him set up. All right. Give us about 30 seconds. We'll throw to a blank screen, and we'll come back with Big Waz, Wosny Lambre, to talk about the dumb year that was. Welcome back to the Michael Brooks Show. Joining us now in studio is Big Waz.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well, man. How's it to be back in New York?
Man, I landed in New York with the meanest stomach virus, which for those of you at home who would like to know the gory details, that entails
They probably don't.
horrible body aches. So like if somebody just elbowed me a little bit, it felt like I got hit by a steel chair. And my stomach was I just couldn't keep anything inside of my body. Let's just put it like that. But, you know, I'm good as new now. I'm on the Michael Brooks Show again, finally.
Finally.
And feels good.
Finally in studio. Where's your beer?
I wasn't sure if we were doing that or not.
Yeah, we're doing it. It's the year.
I wasn't sure. Should I?
It's the year in dumb.
Matt's going to grab
Matt'll
that for
get
me.
it
Thank you, Matty.
Thank you, Matty. Do you remember what we did? I don't remember what the bit was.
The bit was that he was a Trump supporter.
No, definitely that was the bit. Oh yeah, I was just like, I'll tell you what. Tired of all these goddamn cultural creatives coming in my studio insulting my president. That was the original Matt bit, but the other one was you were on last year and you were looking for a word, and Matt, of course, just came through and like I was like, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. And you're like, what's that word? And Matt's just like, oh, I remember now. Incredulity. Just about like,
I cannot.
You were looking for incredulity. And then what did you do? You did like Matt running through a daffodil field, going, incredulity.
Classic Matt. Just so you guys don't think that was
the
a bit.
the beer pops.
Just so you guys don't think that was a bit, this is me and my holiday beer. Cheers. Drink it.
Cheers. Welcome to TMBS,
Yes,
brother.
cheers.
Thanks for being back in
I'll
studio.
take a second sip,
You get to meet the economist, David Griscom.
Yeah, man, finally.
Yeah,
First
glad to
time
meet
ever.
you.
Whenever I catch you guys on YouTube, that's the only time I get to see this stuff. And I noticed that Matt's getting a little bit more camera time on Majority Report.
Yeah, it's good. Matt's throwing his weight around a little bit. It's good.
Yeah, I want to write off baseball caps on my taxes. So.
Yeah, exactly. Ever since I told everybody that you can write your wardrobe off, now everybody's doing a lot more cuts off.
Well, Matt, you gotta get your hands on some dashikis.
Yeah, that's right.
We
should
should
all-
all,
actually,
actually, next year when you come in for the year review, it's all with it.
Absolutely. I'm with it.
Did you hear? Did you hear Happy Kwanzaa? Of course. Did you hear Third Way Nation of Islam Obama the other night?
I did not. Was that the most recent?
That was a very wise video.
Okay, I need
Of like,
to get on that. That was saved for my plane ride, but I was out of it. I fell asleep.
dude, I'm glad you slept. I remember one time I was flying to Jordan, and I was sick the whole flight.
Ooh,
and I slept not a wink.
It's not that deep sleep. Like I was sleeping, meaning I was unaware of my surroundings, but it was definitely like, I'm not.
What was the person
sleeping.
next to you like?
It was a dude, a black dude. I want to say he was about 25, 26, and for whatever reason, he wanted the freaking armrest up.
That's against etiquette.
I don't understand that.
It's against etiquette.
I don't understand why.
That's against etiquette.
It's a natural barrier. Why would you want to be next to
Maybe he
each
wanted
other
to
like
touch
that?
you, dude.
Maybe. I am pretty sexy. I can't lie.
Of course, Waz, you can listen to it. Count the dings. Get the back-to-back podcast. Subscribe to the bomb feed, Black Opinions Matter, the Monday Black Opinions Matter show. And then on Thursdays, Woke Bros, which is our other venture.
Absolutely.
And then, first and foremost, of course, if we're pitching stuff, patreon.com/TMBS. Get the whole Michael Brooks Show experience. Come February 1st, the Bell House, to our live shows. Everything all right, guys?
We're having just a minor audio hiccup.
Minor audio hookup? Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. They sometimes it looks like there's like some type of like NASA, you'll be up here talking and they're back there like we've lost contact with Apollo 1. It looks really
The virus
serious.
is spread.
Yeah, it looks really serious back
It's
there.
no longer contained.
Yeah, exactly. See us February 1st, the Bell House. And then another great show, Count the Dings, going to Boston.
Yes, we're going to Boston,
Dude.
the Middle East.
Dude, you're going to Boston?
Going to Boston.
So
dude.
here's my problem, like with like fucking sports athletes' attitudes.
Sports athletes.
So like I feel like you look at like, I don't know, let me just pick a random example. Larry Bird. Just random example.
Not a ball hog.
Like not a ball hog. Like he wasn't a showman. Like he was playing to win, not to look flashy. If you know what I'm saying.
I think I know what you're saying.
So I guess my question is do you think more broadly if you people were less flashy, and please don't make this a race thing, that sports would be like less toxic?
I think if we were less black, maybe that would help.
If by black you mean flashy.
Right, exactly. You know, because it's okay to be flashy when you're white. Like people love it from cats like Aaron Rodgers and shit like that. When
Jason Williams.
When you do pelvic thrust, well, yeah, Jason Williams for sure. But basketball is just a sport where, like, you know, being individualistic is not policed the way it is in, say, football. But Aaron Rodgers doing pelvic thrust, literally humping the air on Sunday, the Lord's Day.
It's not my Lord's Day, brother. Sunday.
Allahu Akbar.
What kind of swine you eating?
You know, everybody eats it up.
Let's play this because we got to talk. We're going to do a year in review, but we got to talk about a guy named Derrick Fisher for a minute. And first, let's give the man his due. 10th year anniversary of his. This wasn't even a second. This was 0.4 second.
0.4, baby.
That's insane. All right, let's watch this. This is the 10-year anniversary. Wait, what year? When year was it?
I think it was like 2004 or something.
2004. Okay.
Sheesh.
All right, let's play it.
Oh my God.
Here they go. They get it to Fisher. He scores! Derrick Fisher
That's
scores at the buzzer.
Can you get back to that frame for a second? Look at that.
That's Bruce Bowen's face.
Yeah, look at Bruce Bowen's face.
He's dumbfounded.
He's like, why wasn't I playing defense in there? Like, I'm the best defender in the league. Can I just, before you guys go off on this, the morning after this, I was a big Laker fan in high school. The morning after this, I took a, at the time we called him wife beater, tank top, and I made a Derrick Fisher jersey with Sharpies and wore it to school. So
incredulity.
You're still a dork. You were a dork back then, and yes, incredulity.
Well, wait, I got to ask then. I mean, how are you guys liking?
I'm still a fan.
You're still a Lakers fan, right?
Strong.
So what do you think? LeBron, are you enjoying LeBron?
Oh yeah, I love LeBron and the Lakers.
Is it fun to be there with LeBron?
Yeah, I mean, it's still so early in what they're doing. I don't think the fans have fully kind of grasped what's actually happening, and I think everybody understands that the team is in a transitional period, right? Whereas the years leading up to this is just a bunch of young kids who either, you know, they have potential, but they're not established good NBA players, and the team stunk, right? Like they weren't playing for anything meaningful. I think there's a sense that LeBron getting here, while the team is obviously way better than they were, it's building towards something. So I think that's the period that they're in. But it's the Lakers. Like, even when they sucked the last 3 years, they pack the house every night. They're like the Knicks in that way. Their fans are, you know, absolutely rabid.
And the Knicks have not been good since like the Ewing.
I mean, 2001, ever since James Dolan, trust fund babyface, got the team, they've been awful. Yeah.
All right.
Do you know James Dolan's band's name?
JD and the Straight Shot?
Yeah.
I always think I always want to. Yeah, it's JD.
Let's try to play some of that. See if we get a copyright.
And the Straight Shot.
See if we get a copyright strike from that motherfucker.
I always want to say JD and the. I always want to say JD and the Sure Shot. I don't know why, but yeah, the Straight Shot.
Oh my God! All right, we got a second of this. This dumb fuck. All right, let's play 15 seconds. Wait, better at church? Better find a church?
Oh my God.
Oh. I don't know how much I can take of this, guys. I'm not even kidding. Freeze frame on that. That's the man that ruined the New York Knicks, everybody.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah. This is a perfectly honorable use of a trust fund. Why did he have to ruin the Knicks?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
He could have just sold the team, become a rich idiot asshole, that's the front man to a band, and because he's rich, like they've opened up for the Eagles before. I think he's opened up for Jewel. Like this is straight up him just buying his way.
To be fair, he sounds like he should open up for Jewel.
Opening up
Shots
for
fired.
these acts, so I guess, not shouts to what's the opposite of a shout out?
Gulag.
Gulag to James Dolan.
Gulag to James Dolan, most definitely. Are you kidding me?
See ya.
A trust fund baby who ruined the Knicks? Where else is he going to go? So Derrick Fisher was a great basketball player, but he was actually a really bad person. Give us a review. And first of all, just talk in generalities about what a bad person Derrick Fisher is, but there's actually a reason why we're talking about this guy.
Okay. Derrick Fisher, I think when he first inclination that you knew something was fishy about Derrick Fisher, he used, and I didn't do that on purpose.
That was nice.
He used his kid's ailment to void a contract. I think he was in Utah or something. I
That
forget.
sounds cool to me.
He was like he was in Utah or something, and he said, "I have to go back to LA because that's the only way I can get treatment for my kids or something." Whatever.
Well, I'm gonna definitely pass on that.
In the
Vicious
moment,
negotiating.
in the
That's
moment,
cool.
in the
Yeah.
moment, we all said, "Okay." In hindsight, knowing what we know about Derrick Fisher,
I see
it's
what
like,
you mean. Okay, it was a case study.
you gotta question that.
All right.
Okay.
All right, fair enough.
A few years ago, while he was still the New York basketball Knickerbockers head coach, he got in trouble because he borrowed. This is during training camp, right?
Yes.
He borrowed the team's private plane to fly back to L.A.
He needed
told
to, his kid was sick. He needed to get treatment.
that's what he told management.
Wait, are you serious?
He told listen. He told management that he had to go back to hang out with his kids.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
So they
called it.
So listen. So they gave him the plane. He comes back thinking everything is gravy, but guess what? There's a police report because while he was in L.A. at Matt Barnes, his ex-teammate's ex-wife's house,
Right.
the house that Matt Barnes bought, the house that Derrick Fisher once ate dinner at with his ex-wife,
Right.
while Matt Barnes was still married to this woman.
Right.
Matt Barnes showed up to the house and kicked his ass.
Why would Matt Barnes do that when he's there trying to take care of his kid?
Exactly. And so it's like you're dating your teammate's ex-wife. That's weird.
That's a little weird.
But you also
little weird.
lied to your job about hanging out with your kids to take their plane,
to take their
to
private
charter
jet
their plane to LA.
To go hook up with your roommate's ex or your teammate's ex.
Yes.
That's a lot of that's extra.
Well, hold on. We got
That's
one
extra.
more.
All right,
we got one more. And by the way, on a podcast back in the True Hoop days, my man Brian Windhorst got in trouble with the powers that be at the mothership ESPN for this. But we brought up the fact that it was reported Derrick Fisher was Snapchatting the girlfriend.
wait. We got a meme for this. Okay. All right, that looks pretty funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, my man Wendy got in trouble for this, for talking about this on a podcast, but it ended up bearing out to be a reported piece of news.
Right.
Derrick Fisher was reportedly Snapchatting one of his he's the coach, they're the players, one of the players' girlfriends.
So
he's sending his
I love how you start from like peer-to-peer scumbag. And then, because a lot of people would not cross that line.
Sure.
Right? Like, how would you feel if you found out that the evil genius himself, Jade Hoy, was Snapchatting your girl? That would disrupt the whole Count the Dings network, dude. That would
be like,
yeah.
Wait, what? You want my mic to be what? No, like, yeah, it's...
You just turn it up a second, dude. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, Woz doesn't understand the New World Order. Let me holler at you for a second.
Oh my God, Jay gets really pissed when people belittle his conspiracy hobby.
See, I love
I listened to the mailbag on Friday.
Yeah. Oh, what?
I listened to the mailbag on Friday when they were talking about moon landing stuff.
Yeah, he doesn't know. Jade does not take kindly to that shit. But I have to give, because Jade, see, I was at the Brooklyn show, but Jade hasn't invited me to be at the Boston show yet, so I'm going to be busting on him regularly.
We just started the process of locking in guests.
Yeah, until that is rectified, a day or two ago. There's going to be a lot of
haymakers.
Hey, so don't worry, I got wives doing an extra woke bros. So he thinks JFK wasn't killed by the CIA. That's stupid. You want to see me with the dog filter?
That's literally Jade's response. Like, are you kidding me?
No, that's the
like.
best.
How could you think anything else happened?
See, that's the part of the reason that I actually love those fights with Jade, because he takes like. Your role is supposed to be like, if you're the one being like, I don't think that the world works like that. But he flips it on you like, wait, you think that the moon landing was real? All right, dude. You're a little fucking naive.
Yeah, that's basically it. I'm the crazy person.
Yeah. It's like, he's like, oh, you don't think the earth is flat? No. Jade's not a flat earther.
No, he's not flat earther.
Jade's
and
all
he
politics, all the politics.
He gets offended when people lump in the flat earthers with the conspiracy community.
Right.
Because he's like, those people are kooks.
Right.
And I'm like, fair, they are. But yeah, he doesn't like when people lump in Alex Jones. Like, he likes to keep it moon landing. You know what? I'm not gonna get into it, but yeah, no, he's good.
I don't get it, man. The thing is, like, I've talked with Jade. Jade's very aware and very well read on a lot of stuff that I think is not like Iran-Contra, CIA coups. Like, you don't gotta go for all this other shit to realize that the world is a capitalist criminal
but I think this other stuff
by
is
the
fun.
Central powers.
I think this other stuff is
fun.
fun.
But he doesn't take it fun.
No, it's fun for him.
I don't know.
I think it's fun for him. That's what I like.
If it's fun, all right,
moon landing stuff is fun. Like watching people harass the old astronaut dude. Like that's just fun.
No, it's fun. When Buzz Aldrin everywhere, this grouchy old bastard goes, and he's just like, I remember back in my day where you could get,
like it's just fun to like unearth these
and
Easter
you could
eggs.
use the N-word, and the moon landing was great. And someone's always like, well, all those other things may be true, but the moon landing did not happen.
Facts.
All right, we'll get to Monique's question in a second, but first, this is why I want to just finish on Derrick Rose for a second.
Derrick Fisher.
Excuse me, Derrick Fisher.
Two problematic Derricks, but
I was going to say I don't want to go into. I don't want to deal with Derrick Rose. All right, I'm not a predatory lender, says Derrick Fisher, who goes from NBA player from the NBA to player loans. All right, I'm going to read now from The Guardian a little bit. Derrick Fisher began the month defending his credentials as the newly appointed head coach of the WNBA's Los Angeles Sparks. Fisher's December continued with the former basketball star denying he is a loan shark. It was revealed last week that the five-time NBA champion and former coach of the New York Knicks is joining Luxury Asset Capital, a boutique lender. It sounds beautiful. Wow, this must be a cool project.
You know what that sounds
like? When
like?
Trump says, like, very legal, very cool, we realize, you know what the cool part is a code for? That a black guy was involved in that particular scheme. Someone's like, we got to get Paris Denard on the phone. Like, yeah, very legal, very cool.
The name of that boutique firm reminds me of Oakwood Stratton. The name
Ballers.
Right. Wolf of Wall Street.
Wait, what's the name? Oh, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? So the firm that he started to basically do the entire scheme, he wanted to dress it up, give it a dignified name. Meanwhile, all they're doing is pumping dumps.
So what are they
doing?
Stocks. What are they doing to the players? Does it specifically target
these
players,
homies,
right?
What Derrick Fisher wants to do is like, you want to get that iced out chain?
Right.
But you're paying, a mortgage for your mom and your aunt, and you're doing this, and you're kind of strapped, and we'll loan it to you. It's like, and the thing is, it's like these are exactly the people who don't need these kinds of loans, right? Like if it comes up to like, say they want to get a business loan, these guys can walk into any bank, be like, this is my, you know what I mean? This is how much money I make. This is how much money I got in the bank. These are my assets, such and such and such. And they can give them a loan at a reasonable interest rate and keep it pushing, right? Because that's what they do for a living. This is so obviously a money grab. And it's like, yo, we're going to use your pension. And when you're going to use future salary as collateral, it's just like, this is skeevy, bro. Like, and it's not even like, you know, it's different when people like these financial advisors come around and it's just like, all right, we're going to try to show you how to make money in the stock market or whatever. Where it's just like, yeah, that's you have to invest and you have to take risk or whatever. This is just straight up buy some shit that you don't need. If you want money for it, we'll give it to you.
Yes. This is literally like,
you can't afford it right now and you absolutely don't need it, but we'll give you the money and, you know, we'll take your pension in the future for it.
And then check this out, because we'll close on this. Baron Davis tweets this out.
I loved it.
Derrick Fisher sold us out the CBA. Now he's selling us out again. Athletes going broke. Let's make money off of that. Hashtag slap yourself. Hashtag Busta. Hashtag sellout. Hashtag band syndrome. So I guess also Derrick Fisher has sold out his fellow players in contract negotiations with the union as well.
Yeah, people felt like he was a bad player rep.
Is he a scab?
You know, the problem with a lot of the union reps, and, you know, my man Bomani Jones has pointed this out, is that a lot of times these guys afterwards go on to take jobs in the league, right? You know what I'm saying?
Every other that just sports is that's everything.
You know what I mean?
That's the world. It's called the revolving
It's problematic, right? It's like Jesus, like you used to be an adversary of people like James Dolan,
right?
And not so much Phil Jackson, because Phil Jackson was not really a part of management until the Knicks decided they wanted to completely overpay him to make him do a job that he told him expressly that he didn't want to do. But you know, you're now working for James Dolan, who it was your job to negotiate against at one point, right? And so Lord knows what was said in those meetings, or not even in those meetings, afterwards.
Right.
Yeah, let's go out to dinner, Derrick. Let's, you know what I mean? So
that's how it works in every industry.
And that's the problem a lot of times with the player reps and the players union. So that's what Barron's talking about with that.
All right, let's get to that Monique question real quick. And then we'll keep it moving, because I do, before we get to Kanye and some other stuff, I want to play this Russell Brand Candace Owens clip. But first, real quick, great contributor to the show, MVP caller and patron, Monique says, at Matt Lesk, ask at _ Michael Brooks. She didn't at Big Waz. She just said your name. I'm sorry, man. You didn't get the analytics on that. Their opinion of Offset interrupting Cardi B show because at TMBS doesn't take calls when they're flowing.
Well observed.
Very well observed. Happy holidays and New Year. Well, happy holidays and New Year to you, Monique.
Yeah, same to you and yours.
Yes. What do you think?
I mean, for me, it's ridiculous, right? I just thought the whole public campaign is just ridiculous. I guess there's a public component to it to their relationship, in the sense that these are two extremely public people,
right?
And they're not in, you know, they're the two of the biggest rap acts in the world. And as I discussed with you on Woke Bros yesterday, like, rap is not just rap anymore. Rap is pop music.
Rap is pop, right?
One of the biggest rap acts, you're just de facto one of the biggest acts. And so, you know, everything they do sort of gets thrown into the public sphere, and I guess he's publicly humiliated her with the infidelity and stuff like that. But like, just the whole begging for your woman back on Twitter,
sad.
You know, getting other rappers to try to coax your woman into doing it to T.I. The Game. Like, by the way, neither one are paragons of fidelity and maintaining healthy.
The Game's never cheated. And never. Why would you say that?
Neither one have been
is
like
very sincere. Shut your mouth.
Like, why would Cardi B be like, yeah, absolutely. You know who I need advice from? The Game. Like,
yeah,
it's just ridiculous. And it's the idea that you would show up to somebody's job while they're working. Like, people paid money to see Cardi B headline this performance, and you know the idea
I thought that was gross. I thought that was bullshit.
Crazy.
I thought that was crazy and ridiculous. But I always, my question though is like, I guess I'm pretty full jade when it comes to things like this, because I just find it very hard to believe that any of this stuff. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, no,
like from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, now it's time for the like John Cusack with the boombox,
the apology
cycle
tour?
of the
The problem is
is this an actual thing?
The problem is it's even if it is staged, it's staging really sort of worrying male behavior in these sorts
right.
of
It's promoting the wrong type of shit.
100%.
Like
Definitely.
Like it's promoting the idea like guys, cheat on your woman because all you have to do after is go on Instagram and get your annoying ass, cheating ass friends to also tell her to take you back, and it'll be great again. And
actually,
it's
matter of fact, could you? I got some Snapchat. Could you help me out later?
Or what you could do is just straight up, I don't know, call the woman, get out of my life with all of this shit, man. Like I just don't get why this has to be a thing.
No, I mean, even if the record industry, even if it is totally fake, it's promoting exactly the wrong kinds of behaviors. No doubt about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about something more positive. Let's move on to Candace Owens, who I know has had a big influence on you. I remember when Candace Owens first came on the scene, you called me up and you said, I really like the way Candace Owens thinks.
I have a question for the panel. How long have you guys, I guess you guys are more in tune with this sort of thing than I am. How long has this woman been in your sphere?
That's a good question.
Pretty early on because we've been following Turning Points USA for...
What's Turning Points USA?
That's Charlie Kirk. Sam debated him at Politicon.
Okay.
It's like it's Foster Friess as the main oligarch in
charge.
And it's like, let's go harass humanities professors.
Yeah, it's the college campus arm of the new far-right propaganda network.
Okay, so it's concentrated on young kids?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a campus thing.
So, of course, and since they're not, of course, they're Trump, so they're all alt-right, of course, but... The play is, you're the real racist.
But they've had multiple.
So they need a, but of course they've had multiple
They had to fire a VP for a text that was just I hate blacks. I'm sorry, I just hate them.
Yeah.
It's
No, they're
full on
this anti-Semitic. Well, no,
and,
no.
Oh, easy. And there was another one from those release texts was, don't go so hard on the Jew stuff for no reason.
That was literally a text. He just literally said, "Don't go so hard on the juice."
If you're gonna go hard on it,
standalone text.
But it was if you're gonna go hard on it, have a reason you're going hard on it.
Right.
It's talk specifically about what they do in Hollywood. Don't
keep
just,
it based on policy, okay?
Yeah. Look, just because the Holocaust didn't happen doesn't mean that you can just attack Jews. Generally, yeah, right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you guys had already been.
We knew who she was, and then definitely, so she was on the radar. But I mean, because this is an old role. This is just the new version of the old, the Thomas Sowell, be the fucking right wing, informant. And it's amazing too, because these people will say oh, you're saying that you can't be just because you're, black or a woman or whatever, that you have to be, a Democrat. And okay, first of all, here's the real question. Here's the real answer is that what do we say? It's not that black people can't be Republicans. Nobody can be Republicans. Yeah. And secondly, you will meet people with a variety of politics in any community. There is only... If you go to the Jewish community, there's you'll get a million different perspectives on big issues. It's only a very small handful of Jews, and they literally are one Orthodox group that are the Holocaust had to happen because we weren't doing Shabbat right. And that is not a mainstream representation of how your Jewish community thinks.
Right.
So that's how you should think about people like Candace Owens, in my opinion.
I mean, nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have to be a complete idiot or a Republican to think that there's a plurality of black people who get down like Candace Owens, right? And again, it's not even the idea that you couldn't be conservative, because I think about it all the time. I'm friends with so many people that I know for a fact, if republicanism wasn't so based in the outright, just the idea that black people are subhuman, less worthy than everybody else, they would be so happy to be Republican.
I know, especially, you're Caribbean, dude.
They would be so happy to be oh, they fucked up. Leave them behind. Get out of here. So
I remember one time I was in the car in Trinidad, and I don't even remember the context, but I remember this guy was just like, oh, like I wish I could still do the accent. I used to be able to, but he was basically just, oh, there's Michael again. He cares about the black poor people. I was like, whoa. Yeah. And that would be exactly the type of person that if he was here, he would just be like, if you could just give me a slightly lower barrier to entry, I'd be a Republican. But Candace Owens is, and by all appearances, an absolute sociopath. So that's no barrier to entry with her. I like Russell Brand a lot. Like, I actually, in some ways, I like the way Russell Brand thinks. But I think, sometimes he's doing a different thing, in my opinion. I think sometimes he does give too much more space to someone like Jordan Peterson than I would.
It's controversy based, right? So he's not bringing on a lot of like Marxists.
He has. He's brought on
but
David Harvey. He's had on several times. He has on Yanis Varoufakis.
But the main thing is these sorts of conversations, I feel.
Well, I think the main thing that gets triggered on YouTube is these sorts of conversations. Yeah. But regardless, Russell Brand, I'm still basically a big defender of. I have criticisms about. What'd you say?
I like Russell Brand.
Yeah, I like Russell Brand. So I like Russell Brand a lot. What's funny is that I watched a chunk of this interview. I couldn't really go through most of it because Candace Owens is just constant propaganda. It's not interesting. Like, actually, I learned something from the Peterson conversations. Like, I still had disagreements about how some of it was handled, but it was a conversation that was like, oh, at least this is intelligence gathering. Candace Owens is just it's just talking points.
It's not a conversation. It's just I studied these words.
Yeah, she's just spitting talking points.
Well, I learned that she's the type of person who thinks her IQ is too high to benefit from therapy.
Yes,
which is
interesting. I know. I mean, I watched that. Like, I know I throw the word sociopath around a lot, but I watched it being like, I think that chick is definitely
I've never heard her speak. I'm only familiar with her tweets. So
here's a couple of minutes. You'll see her speak, and this was the moment that we found the clip where Russell finally lost it a little bit. Let's check it out.
But do you not think this individualistic culture is in itself destroying the principles at a spiritual, human level of community? Do you not think that economic inequality creates in a human being a sense of injustice, of unfairness? Because people, do you know what, Candace? 90% of people that are rich, do you know why they're rich? They was born rich.
Okay, I can tell you something. I think that economic disparity creates that feeling, but a fundamental understanding in economics can help you
Do you know
that
the most people that are rich are born rich? It's not like there's a tiny minority of people that are like you that come from a poor background and manage to overcome it. And this is what's a problem I've noticed with a lot of great people, is they sort of believe that their greatness is something that can be replicated, and I don't think it can.
I see. So I believe in the individual, you don't. That's our fundamental differences.
That the primary goal of the individual should be to serve the community.
I do not believe that the primary goal of
what
an
do you
individual,
think the primary goal
of the individual
should be?
Once an individual feels
serve
that they
the
have
individual.
Served, so you're discounting the human spirit.
I'm not discounting
it.
I'm saying that's what there is.
Let me ask
that's
you,
the wrong
no,
thing to say to Russell.
In humanity, think of animals in the wild. You don't even have to go to humanity. We can just think about animals in the wild. What is our human instinct, okay? Are you going to make sure that everyone on this block is fed before you feed yourself? Do you go around and say, hey, have you had breakfast this morning?
Listen.
Hey, have you had breakfast this morning? Hey, or are you going to make sure you're eating? And if you have an excess, of course you're going to do the human condition, and our incentives are going to be to want to help people.
Are you mental? The richest 15 people on the planet have got as much cumulative wealth as the poorest 5 billion.
But
that's an excess.
No.
That's an excess.
Okay. We're talking about literally 0.00001% of the world is what you're talking about. Okay, and what are they preaching? What do they want? Socialism, so that nobody else has the opportunity to become what they've become. They're the ones that are pushing for
socialism.
Yes,
that's not real socialism.
Well, are you kidding? George Soros doesn't want socialist policies. Jeff Bezos, the richest man in the world, doesn't want socialist policies. They want to make sure that no one else has the opportunity to get to where they got.
Actually,
why the fuck did they end it right there after she said that demented nonsense?
If we enacted socialism, actually, we'd take all their fucking money.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. No, they're not advocating for that. Take my money away. Give it to everybody else. That's not what What are you talking about?
We would be so much better financed if that was the case.
Yeah, I know.
Bezos is
Yeah,
actually
I
an
was, hey, Jeff,
accelerationist.
if you're serious about this,
Step
give
it
me
up.
$50 million. We'll do
The
a whole
Koch brothers are
network.
laughing at you, Jeff.
Yeah, come on, Jeff.
Can you
get
imagine
serious.
if the
I
left-
thought you were just ruining labor unions and completely devastating local economies. I had no idea
Jeff's
what you were
making
trying to
people
do.
piss in bottles because he wants them to rise up and take all this fucking
Rise
money.
up.
Jeff
is like,
Control
if I
the means of
torture
production.
enough people through frictionless production and destroy enough communities and do this ridiculous, fucking fraudulent, insane American Idol style shit where cities beg us to come and give us money, even though we're one of the richest corporations on the planet, in an embarrassing, craven display of giving money away to oligarchs, then maybe they'll finally wake the fuck up and realize we got to overthrow capitalism. Yeah, Jeff Bezos is an accelerationist.
Like, what the that, like, that's beyond dumb. It's like, just the idea. Well, yeah, those are the people pushers. No, it's not. These people are the biggest capitalists in the world. What are you talking about? They're all capitalists. You can't get rich and not be capitalist. Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't get that rich.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Why are the capitalists also?
Why are the socialists also capitalists?
Well, if you really followed that door, there are people who think like that. And there's books like, I don't know, like the Protocols of the Elders of Zion.
That's what this is.
Like, that's where you're going.
Yeah.
Okay, the world's a secret Jew socialist bank cabal.
The Jews are trying to get us to think that pursuing socialism and not enriching ourselves is going to stop us from.
See, what happens is the Jews are like, everybody should take care of each other and be nice to each other. And then we make all the money. Let's go play some dreidel and tell the black people to be socialists so they don't go to Harvard.
And
hey, would you like some ice for free? Now we get to keep all the money.
The crazy thing is that
Can I have a beer, please?
As I said, please, Matt, make that too. As I said before, I've never really gotten into the nitty gritty, the sort of outer edges in the political world, right? Like,
that's some outer edge right there, dude.
I really I want to say within the last 2 years, I learned that globalists meant rich Jews. Like, I never knew what, like, when people are talking about a media conspiracy, they're just by proxy saying that most media entities are owned and operated by Jewish people. Therefore, they're talking about Jews. Like, I literally never got that. Because when you grow up black, Jews are just crackers. Right? Like, there's no.
Wait, not even crackers with like exceptionally bad posture?
No, there's no delineation. There's no separation. There's no hierarchy. It's
just devils.
People who are doing much, much better than we are. That's it.
Well,
like,
we don't got a whole time to make a whole lot of distinctions. Honestly. We don't got to make a whole lot of distinctions here.
I feel crazy naive at times, honestly, man. When a lot of this stuff, when it comes to right wing Jew anti-Semitic conspiracies, it's just like, Jesus.
Yeah, I have to say though, I've heard. I'm not gonna lie. Like I have heard some wild like. I remember this one nation dude.
Thank you.
This one dude I talked to one time, this black dude, was like, he's like, yeah, I mean, Trump has to be part of it, or the Jews wouldn't let him win. I was like, whoa! I was like, I love how he got me. Like, I sit around, I walk around all day, like quoting Farrakhan, doing like the fucking most anti-Semitic voices in the world.
Right.
I got bolt upright. I was like, you should fucking watch Schindler's List, motherfucker. How dare you? It's disgusting. Oh shit! All right. So you know what? That's gonna lead us. We got to talk about the year of Kanye.
Yeah.
So, and I know it means more to you in some ways to me because you were a big fan.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even say that I'm no longer a big fan. Like, it's not like if I'm at the crib, pre-gaming before I step out, I'm not gonna throw, late registration on.
What Kanye are you putting? Oh, late registration.
Late Reg,
So the
Dark
vintage.
Twisted, yeah, of course. Like, I'm still a fan of the music that he's made, right? I even still like Pablo. I enjoyed. I was listening to 30 Hours the other day and just marveling at the brilliance of that song, right?
Right.
But to me, he just sucks now. Like, that's just the sum total of what he is. He sucks.
Yeah, but okay. So, all right, let's give a little dose of his suck. First, we'll play him with Trump. This is wild. Like, I'm not playing this, honestly, because, like, I actually I kind of want to ease up on Kanye, which I'll explain in a second. But I feel like the velocity of things as they are, we forget way too much. We forget that Nikki Haley just resigned as UN ambassador, and she's one of the worst people in American life, and she's probably going to replace Mike Pence on the ticket. We forget that, you know, in the midst of the deluge, the Iran deal was destroyed by Trump. Like, so much is happening. And this was an important cultural moment because Kanye, pre the joke, is one of the, he's a former of our modern culture. So this was funny and depressing and wild. Let's play a little bit of a dose of Kanye and Trump.
The thing that the head of the police and Mike Sachs met with me last night at the Soho House about was we feel that stop and frisk does not help the relationships in the city. And everyone that knew I was coming here said, ask about stop and frisk. That's the number one thing that we're having this conversation about.
All right, so I mean that's actually you picked a nicer moment of his. I mean you should find something while Woz hits on that got to the spirit of what happened a little bit more. But yeah, I mean when you okay, he'd already been being a total jackass on Twitter. He'd already said those wild things about slavery on TMZ. When that meeting with Trump happened, how did you actually process that, even independently of how crazy and ridiculous and unintentionally funny it was? Did it hit you beyond that?
Man, this stuff happened to me in stages, right? I remember when he left the Pablo tour and he was like, I'm gonna go Trump on him. Right? Like that was just, and I was just, that's Kanye.
That was still
silly,
he's just being an asshole.
Trying to be provocative, blah, 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 blah. I think the moment that kind of that was the tipping point for me was when he first tweeted the picture of the MAGA hat and he was like, I got my shit autographed, which was just like, it was beyond a slap in the face, right? To the point where I was like, this has to be like a joke. Like maybe he's in my head I was like, he's probably shooting like a Joaquin Phoenix mockumentary type of thing. Like this has to be what's happening.
You mean the same way that we both hope that basically every single new person we see on the right-wing internet, we're always like, maybe it's Sacha Baron Cohen. You know, on the upside, maybe this is Sacha Baron Cohen.
Right. And so I was just like, man, he has to be joking. But then the deeper and deeper the TMZ, the this, that, I was like, no, Kanye's really gone off the edge. He doesn't have a grasp of what he's doing and saying. And the biggest problem for Kanye, and I'll give you an example, right? Somebody like Beyonce, who at this point, she's not even a person. She's a fucking symbol.
Yeah.
And she's very in tune with what she means to people, specifically black women. She's extremely conscious and she makes a lot of decisions based around how important that is,
and
right?
Also Matt. Because for Matt, Beyonce means a lot to him.
There you go. Beyonce.
Briscoe's more into Solange because he fancies himself a rebel.
Well, there you go. I'm a big Solange guy too.
Solange is
one
my
of her
favorite.
music videos at my ranch outside of Texas.
You have a ranch in Texas?
Your family's ranch?
Yeah, my family's ranch. Yeah, I'll
find
it for you later.
Do you have footage of that?
Yeah,
I'll find it maybe for the post game or something. Send a music video. I can't remember the name. Swan or whatever. Can't remember now.
Please send that over.
in the Sky?
Yeah.
She filmed that at your family's ranch?
Yeah, just a couple scenes. Yeah.
Fucking A, dude.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Wow.
Anyway,
dope.
that's why I'm a Solange.
Your social capital just shot up, buddy.
That's dope.
Yeah, that is really dope.
But yeah, you see I say Beyonce because it's just a stark example of the other side of it. It's just Beyonce knows the responsibility, right? She understands what she means to people. She knows she can't get on TV and start talking about Make America Great Again.
Right.
She just can't. She just knows this would absolutely crush people. right? She's just more responsible. Kanye just has no grasp of like what he means to people or what he used to. I don't know. And so that's what it was for Kanye. Because I think if like somebody like Drake came out and did this, people would be whatever. They'd just be like, fuck him, I'm done, right? Like there's just an emotional attachment to Kanye that I don't think exists with a lot of other artists. I don't think it exists with Jay-Z, quite frankly. Like, or well, no, Eminem, absolutely. If you're a dirty white person from Middle America, you absolutely Eminem is your Beyonce for sure, right?
Well,
like,
so then you got to give Eminem a lot of love for how he went after
no,
Trump.
absolutely. But that's the same. Like,
yeah.
Eminem is in tune with who his fans are.
Like and was willing to say to a lot of them,
yeah, go fuck yourself. Yeah. Kanye is just so self-absorbed. Like he just, I just feel like he never had a grasp of the manner in which people loved him. Not like that they loved him, but like to the extent that they do.
Which is ironic because that's his whole insecurity.
That people don't love him.
That people don't love him.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
That's really interesting.
That's true. But I think the backlash to a lot of this stuff that he thought he was just being provocative, caught him off guard, quite frankly. And that just shows you like he just doesn't get it. Like to be shocked, right? Like that just shows a lack of savvy, a lack of, having people around you to actually give you like, yo, boy, I know you want to make waves. We got to find a better way to make waves.
We got to find a better way to make a wave.
Like Mike, if I came at you with a crazy idea, you'd be like, nah, Waz, like, find a better way to make a wave, bro.
No, seriously. And I got to say, I mean, look, this is absolutely my bias, but it's like the reality is the only way to be truly controversial in the United States is to critique capitalism. And if Kanye wants to be all wild and out there, and I know he was watching the Adam Curtis documentary, I know he wants to step out of the box. So call capitalism into question. Here he is, but this is the opposite of it. Like as if he has a spiritual connection with J.P. Morgan. I mean, this is a poisoned soul right here. Yeah. But I'll just say real quick.
These are big names to him, though.
Right. And they definitely speak to his insecurities, his obsession.
Like, I want to be a big name.
Yeah, I want to be a big name, and I also want to be a big name very specifically in like this, like white capitalist patriarch
industrialist
way. Yes. Yeah.
I mean, culturally, we've been glorifying these guys. I mean,
100%.
Until recently, almost until social media, like. Pierpont Morgan, you weren't going to say anything negative about him in like a major publication.
100%, like which is insane. And I mean, but like, I think the thing that I just would say, I know I said this on Woke Bros, so go subscribe on Bomb Feed. It's a great, both Woke Bros.
That's BOMM, not BOMB. Don't get us tracked by this NSA, guys.
Oh yeah, Black Opinions Matter. That is the name of the feed, BOMM. But the just like the way, I mean, I said it. I think like, okay, Kanye, I think is actually like overrated as an auteur. I think he's an amazing producer. I don't think he's an amazing rapper. I'm not really that interested in his ideas on fashion or whatever. And I get why he had to be put in like, because he was caping for white nationalism. So of course you have like, that's self-explanatory, right? And it wasn't, and again, there's so many examples like, Chance the Rapper said, black people don't have to be Democrats. Nobody cared. Like, that wasn't the point. The point is that Kanye West aligned himself with the Trump administration, which is white nationalism, period. And not even in a way, because you and I defended Kim because she met with Trump and she got a woman out of jail. Great. Beautiful. You did it.
She did a job.
She did a meeting with him, and she got an old lady who had been insanely and racistly over-sentenced, and Trump was like, you know what, you're right. She's out. Great. I have no criticism of that whatsoever. But Kanye West, caped for white nationalism. So that's why everybody had to go at him. But now, I'm not, like, as a matter of the public record, he needs to be held in check. But as a dude, he's really unwell, man.
Yeah, he's
and I feel like the pile-on, combined with the fact that clearly people around him aren't looking out for him, I mean, it's just fucked up at this point.
Yeah, this is America, and we love a comeback story, right? Like
Meek Mill.
Yeah, Meek is a beautiful example of that. Although his transgressions were nowhere near as serious as this, all he did was lose a rap battle because he was in love with Nicki Minaj. Like,
well, he was in love with Nicki Minaj. That's pretty bad.
That's
yeah,
that's pretty bad. But I don't think, like, obviously his crimes against us, you know, humanity weren't that grave, right?
Right.
Kanye's transgressions are so much more serious, and I don't know, man. I don't know. I think a lot of people have kind of decided they've wiped their hands with him, right? When Drake decided to do this whole Friends tour, like where he literally, like, which is just like, man, this is Drake at his most pettiest. It's like he does this world tour, and then he makes it a point to become friends again with all the people that he was once enemies with, and like literally every single one except for Kanye.
And then Kanye, being a deranged, sensitive person, is on Twitter like, I love sick mode, but this hurts.
Yo, it's just like this stream of conscious. It's just, it was cool when it was about like fabrics and shit like that. Like we could laugh at it, but it's just like, yo, bro, like let it go, move on, make some dope music, drop a hot sneaker. Do something. I
thought Nas, you know, and I mean, look, and not, you know, they put out, I told you, Adam and Eve is an amazing track. That's incredible. That's like in the top songs of the year, in my opinion. The album as a whole is not a good album. I think that's pretty broadly agreed upon. But what was funny to me was like, just in one way you could say it's Nas not taking responsibility, which is fair.
Sure.
But the way he subtly, like, because he pretty quickly was like, I'm gonna be putting some more albums out real soon.
Yeah.
And they were like, what was that album like? And he's just like, yeah, Experience was weird. It's weird. I'm not gonna elaborate beyond. It was weird.
I'm not gonna throw Kanye under the bus, but I trusted him, and you know, just whatever.
And he should have. And then real quick, who's the I'm forgetting her name, but Kanye really...
Tiana Taylor.
Yeah, Kanye, tell that story for a second, because that's actually very off of him.
I mean, they were working on a whole body of work.
Right.
And, you know, when Kanye got in his head that he had to put out 7 albums with 7 tracks and 777 and, you know, Lucky Number 7.
It's a sign of very healthy thinking right there.
Dumb shit.
That's good ideation.
He decided to rush out her project. It wasn't finished, but he said 7 weeks, 7 albums, so she put it out. Like, she had been working on stuff. She had more stuff that she wanted to be on her whole project. Yeah. And, like, just killed her momentum and all of that, but behind his, you know, megalomania. Like, it's Kanye at his worst, man. Like, he's always, and again, it's been said enough times, like, he's always shown signs of this, right? Never to this extent that he would go kiss the ring and hug a white nationalist, right, who just happens to be our president, like on TV for the world to see and smile and shuck and jive for him and all of that. But he always showed signs of being this person. It's just now that his music is way worse than it's ever been, and he's like taking it even further, it's become, you know, more stark.
Well, let me just say, we're going to conclude on Kanye in a second because we got like 2 more things to hit before we wrap up. But as I always say, look, are you ready to be with me on this description yet of brilliant producer, mediocre rapper, public nuisance?
Brilliant producer. I mean, you know, he's a decent enough rapper, but whatever.
That's what I'm saying. Mediocre rapper.
I don't even think he's mediocre. I think mediocre does him a disservice. I think
he's a meh rapper.
I think he's good at getting people to like what he's saying. That's a skill. That's a talent, quite frankly.
Okay, that's fair.
Like, there's rappers who are way more intricate and way more like skillful and all of that, and people hear it and want to go to sleep.
Like Rick Ross. No, I'm just kidding. I love Rick Ross. Actually, Rick Ross is the ultimate utility player of rap.
Yeah.
Somebody said that the other day, and that was the most accurate. Rick Ross, super underrated. All right, but look, he started exiting, at least being in this alt-right scene, very quickly after he met with Trump. And I also want to remember the people because of like Milton Alamati and the nature of this show. Not only did he meet with Trump, he then flew to Uganda and met with Jonas Museveni, who's one of the most corrupt, cruel, murderous African leaders.
Of course.
Sat with Museveni
As one does.
with his wife and was just like, I want to open up a Black Panther park here. And it's going to be like Jurassic Park, except better, but it's like Africa. So fuck him. But that being said, these tweets started coming out pretty shortly after the meeting with Trump. Now, I always say, in a battle between a crazy person and a sociopathic person, I'm going to pick the crazy person because there still might be some good in them.
Yep.
So he said, I introduced Candace to the person. So, wait, should we play the clip of Candace first or these tweets?
Well, I think we should play this and then play how Candace
this
described it. Well,
all right, contextualize
so basically,
this a little bit.
Candace Owens and TPUSA tried to do a Blexit movement, which is sort of related to the walk away thing, which is like the whole you don't have to be
Bullshit.
Democrats thing. And
yeah, you don't have to be Democrat.
And she had Kanye's
you can support
ear.
people that literally want to deport you and shit.
Yeah, she got Kanye's ear. I can't remember how that started. Was it like for their summit or whatever?
Something like that. It was a young black Republicans meeting with Trump, and Trump came out and was just like, yo, yo, yo.
So they unveiled. Actually, maybe we should play the Candace Owens thing. So they unveiled it, and here's Candace Owens talking about the unveiling of this.
That this logo,
yes, sister,
these colors were created by my dear friend and fellow superhero Kanye West.
Okay. So Candace Owens has been like, the funny thing too is that when Kanye West, like, as soon as these people who are constantly like, fuck Hollywood, shut up entertainers, you don't know shit, fuck you. As soon as they get like a whiff of an actual celebrity, they are like head over heels.
Their pants.
Yeah, exactly. So Candace Owens is just
Kanye.
Yeah. That's that's probably some of the rest of them. Candace Owens being as she is, she's probably like, this is a great opportunity to maximize my personal utility and destroy my people in the process of becoming moderately wealthy. And then Kanye West tweeted this out. I introduced Candace to the person who made the logo and they didn't want their name on it, so she used mine. I never wanted any association with Blexit. I have nothing to do with it. My eyes are now wide open, and now I realize I've been used to spread message I don't believe in. I'm distancing myself from politics and completely focusing on being creative. 3 exclamation points. Incidentally, this is what Woz texted me after 2016 campaign.
This was after and before this video.
Big facts. Big facts.
Big facts like the big lie.
Before that video surfaced, Candace Owens tried to lie about it, saying, I said on stage that my friend and fellow superhero helped me design the X for Blexit. This may shock the world, but Ye is a world-renowned designer. Everyone who knows him asks him for advice on design. Ye supports various people in different regards because at the end of the day, he has a message about unity and love. He supports Colin Kaepernick, but he supports thing. But then he says the insinuation that Kanye is now the author of my political movement is pointedly wrong and dishonest. So she's being a bit.
So first she lied about him designing her logo, and then was just like, "Hey, Kanye is above the fray. I wasn't trying to cynically misuse him, and no one else should either." All right, let's do 2 more things before we wrap this year in review up, and then we'll come back with the fellas. Woz has to roll out. But we're going to give you a little bit of a post game, a little bit shorter than usual, but we're going to give you something. David's going to do his economic minute. We're going to do a few more things. But I want to do this. I want to do the Chomsky clip and the Trump tweet. So first, this is the Trump tweet, because I thought this actually mattered, right? Because in the last week or so, or 2 weeks, there's been 3 things that have happened that have really put these fucking, like, it's about free speech, free speech, free speech. These people on their heels, right? And shown that it's about politics and it's a proxy and they don't actually care about these things, which we already know, but there's 3 pretty robust examples of that. So not a word from Sam Harris or Jordan Peterson or Dave Rubin or any of these other fucking scum about Mark Lamont Hill being fired from CNN for speaking about Palestinian human rights. Nary a word. They got Jordan Peterson tweeted out that it seemed inappropriate what happened to the Palestinian woman in Texas who is a speech pathologist who wouldn't sign an Israel pledge for her job as a public school teacher.
I'll have to look into it, but that seems kind of sketchy.
Real story. Facts.
Sheesh.
So, in
Texas?
In Texas. So, and, okay, nothing, not a...
That's the one, sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead,
that's part, like...
No, go ahead.
The religious rights obsession with Israel is
creepy as hell. You know why? Because
it's weird.
Especially them, they want us to unify Jerusalem so the
that
Messiah
Jesus
can come back and we
come
go to
back.
hell. Yeah, it's a little fucked up.
But it's like guys. I mean, and the Israelis are like, guys, we know.
I don't know about this current crop of Israelis.
We know why you're so
Netanyahu's,
enthusiastic about us doing this, and we're gonna gladly take the support.
So we will kill the Palestinians, and we'll see.
But like,
maybe Jesus come back, maybe he don't.
You think Jesus is gonna come out of the freaking sky after Jerusalem is united?
Yeah.
Holy
it's like Bob Marley said. He said most people think great God will come from the sky, take away everything, and make everybody feel high. But if you knew what life was Earth, you'd look for years on Earth.
That's fair.
That's actually that should be the credo. That's actually some beautiful lyrics right there. Okay, and then there was this goofy example. David, you got something? Then there was this goofy example that isn't as serious as, because I understand that these intellectual dark web fuckers don't like to ever talk about any like actual threat to free speech that exists in terms of like somebody losing a job for talking about civil rights, or most importantly, literally state legislated political speech. Of course, that's not as important as having a tantrum about something that's going on in Oberlin. But then, look, this should be right in their wheelhouse because this is a tweet. That's the shit they talk about all day, every day. And Matt, I need you to, I can't, the way it's set up. Okay, yeah. Donald Trump tweeted this out on December 16th. And it's so funny because, look, Saturday Night Live, that's not my bag. It's not funny. It's not like the whole De Niro as Mueller thing. Like, get the fuck out of here. The only thing that makes SNL funny when they're making fun of Trump is if you sit there and you think to yourself, how is Donald Trump reacting to that joke? And then it becomes funny because you picture his cortisol shooting through his bloated, grotesque body. Donald Trump tweeted this out. The real scandal is the one-sided coverage, hour by hour, of networks like NBC and Democratic spin machines like Saturday Night Live. It is all nothing less than unfair. News coverage and Dem commercials should be tested in the courts. Can't be legal. Only defame, belittle, collusion. So,
how often do you think Trump used the word
Democrats
collusion?
are colluding with Saturday Night Live?
Yes, that's the real collusion
that's
story.
Amazing. That's the real collusion.
That's the real one.
That's the real
That's
collusion.
the real shit right there.
Collusion? It's collusion?
It's collusion.
Collusion?
Collusion.
No collusion, folks. It's a witch hunt. He doesn't know what the word collusion means. There's no way he knows what that word means.
Illusion.
How many times do you think he used that in his life before this
scandal?
scandal?
Never.
Collusion's an illusion.
Like, no collusion. Like, bro, it's a freaking TV show. Like, you're talking about a foreign fucking power, bro. Like, not a TV show.
Saturday Night Live's a foreign power.
Like, these dudes murder people. These dudes murder, like, reporters.
Saturday Night Live murders democracy. Because they're so unfair.
The Democrats are colluding with Lorne Michaels. You heard it here first,
if
guys.
If only it were so. Lorne Michaels never had any political courage in his entire body. That's the thing about Saturday Night Live. Like, it's
they had him on
history.
during the fucking campaign.
Yes, they had the motherfucker on after the Mexicans are rapists, all of that shit, to do hotline bling.
Yeah.
It's cowardly. In fact, Donald Trump and Saturday Night Live is the perfect petri dish of his relationship to all of these elites that are freaked out by him because he's uncouth and disgusting, and not because they want to get rid of the whole shit that leads to Donald Trump. That's the perfect case study right there. Although his reaction to it is fucking funny. All right.
He's got the best reactions. Man.
Best reactions because it's collusion. By the way,
crooked Hillary.
Woz said it was collusion. Woz said it was collusion. He said it was collusion, which I thought was
Marco Rubio.
Very cool. Do you think when he said very legal, very cool, it meant a black guy is involved in that scam?
Possibly.
Yeah, like Robert
Don
Mueller.
King's involved.
Remember they're like, no, or Paris Denard.
Like, Don King is his man.
They read, of course he is.
They're like,
that's the only difference is that Don King is smart. And self-made.
Exactly.
Yeah, but they're both like incredibly
Don King is definitely an
people.
evil bastard, but he is a smart, slick son of a gun for sure. Dude.
Right. But you could just see like when he said like,
oh, this is old school.
Yeah, because we do the throwback clips sometimes on TMBS because we're the context givers, we're the history providers. So this was flagged by black socialists.
You know, he kind of looks like Bill Maher right here.
Oh, don't diss Noam.
I'm just saying, it's just weird.
How great would it be if Noam Chomsky was like, all right, you're not an anti-imperialist, okay?
You know,
the United States government.
How would history be different if they their personalities were swapped at birth?
If, like there was just like yeah, I guess like the real Bill Maher would just be like a grouchy librarian somewhere, and Noam Chomsky would just be like, the United States government, which likes to talk about democracy. Guess what, stupid people? It's not. Noam Chomsky's always dating Noam Chomsky dates Superhead.
Oh my God! I'm like, wait, what?
You don't remember that?
No, I remember the Bill. I forgot we were still doing the Bill Maher thing, but yes, I do remember that.
What happened to Black Bill Maher? Why did that never take off? Remember we workshopped.
Did we workshop Black Bill Maher?
Yeah, we did, because you were like, I'm an atheist, but I'm not Black Bill Maher, and I was just like, yeah, that don't mean that you educated, okay? That's the cool thing about a Bill Maher impression is you don't even need to do one. You could just fit it into any fucking sub pocket and just make it. It's because all it is like, what if Noam Chomsky was a dick?
Right, that's it. Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Like that time you said Jesus came down from the cross. Okay, next segment.
Yeah, I happen to go to East Timor. Okay. The problem is, some of you didn't invent modern linguistics. All right, new rules. U.S. hegemony over. That actually the world. That's what Dr. Chris Ryan asked me on his podcast. He said, do you think the world would be a different place if Noam Chomsky... He asked the same thing you did, except it was a Howard. He said if Noam Chomsky had the charisma of Howard Stern or Howard Stern had the politics of Noam Chomsky. And I said, we're about to find out, my friend.
Oh, man, that's a fascinating question. I think, man, I would want Howard Stern to have the politics of Noam Chomsky.
Me too. Oh, man. If Howard Stern had the politics, because I already loved that show.
Yeah, because...
But that would just be in, like, if I could listen to Howard Stern.
Whoa. Matt, you okay over there? He's about four loggers in, y'all. He's getting crazy over there, y'all.
Incredulity.
I don't even remember making fun of Matt for that, but that's something I would do.
Oh, it was very much. And of course, you were on your typically bad phone line, like crackling up, like, sorry, I missed that. Anyways, incredulity. I missed what you said, but let's make fun of Matt. All right, let's play this. I love this. This is the late 80s. And Noam Chomsky's talking about language and social capital. And to me, this frames so much of the debunk of the modern racism, alt-right, IDW bullshit you hear today. This is 1989 with Noam Chomsky. Okay.
What does it mean for the language to be pure? Or when people say they want English to be pure, what are they talking about? Was Shakespeare pure? I mean, in fact, every stage of history, languages are... First of all, there is no such thing as a language. There are just lots of different ways of speaking that different people have, which are more or less similar to one another. And some of them may have prestige associated with them. For example, some of them may be the speech of a conquering group, or a wealthy group, or a priestly caste, or one thing or another. And we may decide, okay, those are the good ones, and some other ones the bad one. But if social and political relations reversed, we'd make the opposite conclusions. Let's say take Black English today. Black English is considered not quite proper English. On the other hand, if blacks happen to have all the power and own all the corporations and whites were working for them, it would be the other way around. Okay, Black English would be the language of culture and science and so on, and the stuff that you and I speak would be considered a degenerate dialect, which you have to get people out of so that they'll be able to think.
But that raises an interesting question. Why does language have rules? Why were we taught these rules in grade school?
Yeah,
why is
stop there? I thought that was on point and really interesting.
Yeah, it seems obvious now in our woke moment, right? Where we talk about power structures and we talk about just the wealth gap and, you know, where you're born in America basically dictating your path out in life. Like it's stuff that we think about more often today out loud, right? I don't think people weren't thinking about this shit back in 1989. Like it's not like, you know, a guy in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn considered himself stupid because he didn't speak like the, you know, the dude at the store on Fifth Ave, right? But you know, it's just so stark now in our view, and it's and because black culture has permeated everything that we fucking do in this country now, and so, you know, where you'll have the actual president, even though he's half black, saying shit like bling and, you know, just using our words more frequently in the more mainstream, and by mainstream I mean white culture, you know. It just seems more obvious to us now. But in '89, I'm sure people were like, no, those blacks are dumb.
It's a resurgence of all of that bullshit on YouTube for sure. Let me say, all right, dude, you gotta move back to New York. What the fuck?
Move back, move back to New York.
I miss you, man.
It's only been what? Let me think. 15 months. 15 months.
But dude, hanging out with you in LA is bizarre, dude.
The left
just
coast,
watching
you gotta come
you
back.
like outside of this habitat.
I know. And you know,
we were walking on some like fucking, you know, some abandoned like Quentin Tarantino set, like LA side street, and it's like warm and it smells like citrus. Waz is just, it's pretty cool out here, man. I was like, what's happening?
Listen, man, I would say, especially as a New Yorker, like there's a certain type of New Yorker who just can't get over the ways and the customs of Cali.
Right.
And I understand and I empathize with them.
Right.
But for the most part, man, if you're used to this hustle and bustle and then you go somewhere where it's literally just not at all.
Not at all.
Not that people aren't hustling, like trying to get ahead, blah, 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 blah. But like, trust me, your waiter's going to take his time. Your bartender's going to take his time.
Yeah.
They
have a very different sense of time out there.
Yeah, everybody's taking their sweet ass time. You know, you walk down the street like there's nobody walking next to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a different way of being. But I'm absolutely enjoying myself. But of course, I always miss home. I'm always happy to be here, rip and run. You know, while I was here, I had to stop by the TMBS. Man, I'm so proud of what you've done over here, man. Matt. You know, I've been watching y'all for a while now, so it's nice to see what you guys are doing. You guys did good. And you're doing better every day.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. You do better every day too. It's been, I mean, that's a cool part of our friendship is even back to like, you know, sitting at some bar in like 2015 being like, we got to figure this shit out, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's no health insurance and all of that. And we've been watching, like, both putting it together in these parallels and then having the opportunity to do Woke Bros together. It's amazing. It's awesome. I always appreciate when you come in, man. Please follow Big Waz on all the places you could follow him. We'll have links to Twitter and Instagram, all of that. Subscribe to all of the Counted Things shows. Subscribe to the Bomb feed where you get both Black Opinions Matter on Monday and then Waz and I Woke Bros on Thursday. Go get your tickets to the Counted Things Boston show. Get your tickets to the Bell House show. That's selling fast, February 1st. We're more than halfway there, and there's going to be another acceleration in the new year. So get them while you can. Become a member, a patron of the Michael Brooks Show. We see that 2,000 Patreon mark in the horizon, and that's when the Food Bucket Challenge and all that wild shit happens. Spread the word. We have a lot of content up now on YouTube, and we'll play the IDW card. Those motherfuckers are not monetizing us, even though we have crossed every single metric, and then some, and then some, and then some, and then some that they asked for, hitting us with weird copyright violations, even on like a AP video. It's weird, but we want to keep putting those clips out because we think it's important that we're in the YouTube environment, that we're countering the narrative. So, and get 2-to-1 more content by becoming a patron at patreon.com/TMBS. I want to thank each and every one of you. I want to thank super producer Matt Leck. I want to thank chief of economist David Griscom, David Slavic as well, of course. Guys, I really appreciate it. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate all the crew. Woz,
my brother.
Thank you.
Left is best.
Left is best. See you in the post game.